Hi, guys. Welcome back to Live with Coach Gwendolyn. I'm excited to be here. And to all you dads, happy Father's Day. Father's Day is such a special time. And I know a lot of fathers say they don't get enough recognition, and I can believe that. But right now, today, I want to let you know I'm giving you all the recognition that you all deserve because fathers are special. And there's a lot of single dads out here that are raising kids on their own. Times have changed where fathers are playing a major role in the lives of children on their own without the mother sometimes for whatever reason. And you know what? That is very special. So let me give you guys a hand. Happy Father's Day, guys. Today we're talking about an amazing subject. I think I speak about this more than any subject matter, and I speak to more people about this subject as a coach, and that is forgiveness. And I want to stop and say hello to here Lethea, here Latia. There we go again. I want to say hello to her. She just joined us, and I am so happy to have her here along with everyone else who has joined. So yes, but today we're talking about forgiveness, and like I say, it's one of the more popular subjects with a lot of my clients when we go through our coaching sessions because a lot of people they hold on to things. Hello, GW, how are you? Oh, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Happy Father's Day, and thanks for joining. Yeah, because a lot of people they carry things from the past into their present day, and it affects their future and their current situations. And letting go of things is something that a lot of us have to do. And today I'm not going to be, preaching to you all, but I am going to, refer to the Bible a little bit today. And I hope that that doesn't offend anyone, because we all come from different backgrounds, and I respect that. So I am going to be mentioning a little bit today about the Garden of Eve, the rattlesnake and Eve herself. So we're going to mention that. I'm going to be talking about the steps, and the steps are going to be so important. So you're not going to want to miss it when I start telling you about the steps when it comes to connecting with forgiveness. We're going to be talking about how important it is to forgive, and I'm going to go over some steps on how you can forgive. And I just want to say this right off the top. Forgiveness has nothing to do with forgetting. It is important that you know that before I go any further, honey. If something has wronged you in life, it's not about forgetting it in order to heal. It's about understanding what you went through so that you never go through it again, but letting it off of your heart, honey. So that you can move on and you can grow and that you can look through the muddy waters. I always say the muddy waters, you can look through the muddy waters and find out what lessons in there so you can become wiser, so you can become stronger, so that you can move forward and live in your purpose and live a life outside of what someone has done to you with a great understanding that you are not what you've been through, but you become something amazing each and every time you get through that. So let's start today. So, yes, there's a Bible passage that says, the snake will strike the heel, but the human will crush the head. And when you crush something, crushing it's deadly. You understand? That's deadly. But when something bites, it's not as deadly. So the head of the snake gets crushed, and and the snake is considered the enemy in a sense, okay? Now I always feel sorry for real snakes. I go, oh, they're pretty, they're animals, and they get a bad rep because all snakes aren't poisonous. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do feel sometimes sad for cats and snakes, by the way. Cats get a bad rep too, especially the black cat. And I think they're so beautiful, black cats, by the way. Let's see who else we have here. We have a whole bunch of people who have come in here, guys. And I want to remind you all to please hit that thumb for me, hit that like for me. I would really appreciate it. If you appreciate what I do and me being here, show me some love by hitting that thumb up, that like sign, and don't forget to keep sending me hearts, guys. Before I keep going, I want to send you guys some hearts back. I wish I had a button just like you guys that could send hearts back, but until I get one, I'm gonna always send you guys love. Okay, I do love you guys. So yes, that's what it says. The Bible passage says the snake will strike the heel, but the human will crush the snake's head. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about the bite. Okay, and I consider that the heel. Okay, because if a snake's gonna get you, it's gonna bite you at the heel. Now a snake bite on the ankle hurts deeply. It slows you down. It represents things such as job loss, financial stress, abuse, or betrayal. But a heel wound is not fatal. You can heal. You can stand back up and you can walk again. And that's what when someone does something to you Or if something happens in your life, like I just mentioned, financial situations, losing a job, maybe maybe someone wrongs you as a child or even as an adult. Those are like bites. You're not crushed. And that's what I want you to understand, honey. You are so strong. You have the ability to stand back up after a bite and keep going. And in the process, I need you to understand that you have to forgive something or the situation in order to heal and move on. Because if you try to move on in life, let's say, for instance, you lose your job and you walk around angry, that anger is going to transfer into every job, um what do you call that when you sit down, interview. People can read your energy is real. You may be walking around going, why didn't I get the job? You more than likely didn't get the job because you didn't forgive the person who fired you. You understand? You have to forgive them. Maybe they fired you for no reason, and I get that. But then I've interviewed people before, and let me tell you what they've done. They'll sit there and I'll ask them, I'll say, like, so why are you looking for a new job? And baby, that question could be the roughest question I ever asked because that person hasn't forgiven the person who fired them. Oh, let me tell you, at my old job, ABCDEFG went on. And let me tell you, he was wrong or she was wrong, and they gonna fire me because blah 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 blah. Uh uh you got to let that go. See how I'm saying? You might have been in a situation where you were trying to be interviewed on a job and you didn't even see that you were doing that, because when you hold that pain in and you release it unconsciously, you don't hear yourself. You don't know that you're doing that. That's why it's important for you to let it go, to get it out, because you can't move on if you're holding on to that. And there's this old saying, and I'm going to mess it up more than likely, and that's okay, that holding on to unforgiveness is like pouring a glass of poison for your enemy. Hey, I got it, y'all. Pouring a glass of poison for your enemy, and then you drink it. You are not hurting the other person when you hold on to that. And you don't have to wait for someone else to forgive you. Let me repeat that. You don't have to wait for someone else to forgive you. Forgiveness is for you. When you forgive, it helps your health. When you forgive, it helps you get through the interview on the job. When you let go, it allows you to be able to, if it's, for instance, a relationship that you're trying to move on from, and you're hurt because that person did you wrong, that allows you to heal. That allows you to grow. That allows you to become wiser. That allows you to look through the muddy waters and see what you could have done different or what you can avoid when it comes to someone else coming into your life. Maybe you can see the things that you should not have accepted in the last relationship because you're not holding on to anger. So now you have the time to open your mind up, to meditate, to pray, and to find out where things went wrong, and to say, you know what? I forgive, I don't forget, I'm healed, and now I'm going to move on. So it's very important that we move on. So, yes, another thing is the blow. We talked about the head when I first started out, that head. So, a crushed head means total destruction. And I said that earlier, honey. You think about getting your head smashed. That's total destruction in a sense, okay? And the Bible mentioned that, and that's serious, guys. So, yes, we're talking about the crushed head means total destruction. Your enemies and your past errors do not have the power to crush you. The only thing that gives that power is you. So, that's what we're trying to do today. We're trying to gain your power, allow you to see how amazing you are. Do you know that you're powerful? And guys, this is a fly, and this fly I say is bigger than it. Now look at that. He done land on my pencil. Now you see that? Now look at that, y'all. This fly is playing with me. This fly is playing with me. This fly want me to crush him like the head of a snake, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let this fly go today. I'ma let this fly go today. I forgive you, fly. This fly's all up in my life today, y'all. where, where does say his God? Oh yeah. But I'm not gonna get too deep into these questions about religion. And I mentioned that earlier. I just found that that was something I needed to share today. So I respect you asking me for a question like that. But there's two things I don't talk a lot about with people because people are different and I respect everybody, and that's religion and politics, sweethearts. So we're going to try to get a lesson out of this, even though I did mention some passages from the Bible, referencing seen the snake, okay, and Eve. But again, no, I'm not trying to disrespect you all. I'm not going to be digging deep into religion tonight. That is not what I'm going to do. I have my own religion. Everybody else has theirs. They have their own opinions. Some people do believe, some people don't believe. I'm not here to debate tonight. So I do want to respectfully say that, okay? And I do want to let y'all know I don't talk about politics either, okay? So we're going to keep that clear, but I'm going to keep on talking. But I see your question, sweetheart. I appreciate you asking me that. And that was a question that I was trying to say me, K Dad asked, but that's okay. I'm sorry, I'm not answering that. So let me move on respectfully. So yes, what I was saying before that fly landed on my pencil was um a crushed head means total destruction. Your enemies and your past errors do not have the power to crush you unless you let them. Do you understand that? Unless you let them. And that's what I'm trying to tell you all, that we are stronger than we could ever imagine. If you look back at your past and the fact that today you're sitting here watching Coach Gwendolyn on a live, that means you stood up. That means you survived. And there's no denying that, honey. You were bit at the ankle. You weren't crushed at the head. And with that being said, you still have the opportunity to overcome those past obstacles and forgive them, whether they were human or whether they were something outside of being human that tried to harm you or disrespect you in any way. And that's what I want you to know. I don't know who's holding on to something tonight. I don't know who was brought in this space tonight for themselves to be able to heal, or maybe someone was brought here tonight so that they can take this message to someone else that's going through something. Or maybe you need to get on the phone right now and call somebody and say, hey, tune in to this live because you going through something, baby. And Coach Gwen is on here talking about it. She says she's going to give us some information on how to deal with it. She's not just going to talk, she's going to guide, because that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to guide you. So I need you to stay here. Or I need you to make that call and bring that next person in. And y'all hit them hearts for me and let's keep on going. Let's keep going. And again, if you just got in here and you're a father, happy Father's Day. I love all the fathers. No Mother's Day, I told the moms I love them, but today is Dad's Day. And it's a special day. So, yes, welcome to the live, dads. So, let's talk about the mind danger. If you choose to live in permanent anger and unforgiveness, you turn a treatable heel wound into a fatal head blow. You close your mind and kill your own purpose. You've got to let it go. You'll be around people, you'll be holding on to that. People won't like being around you. You won't see that, you won't know that because you'll think it's normal. You'll think that everybody else is the problem, because a lot of people who don't let go of forgiveness, they think everybody around them is the problem when they're the problem. They don't want to have accountability. But let me tell you something. If you notice that every time you go around a lot of people and a lot of people are telling you, "Ooh, you mean," or they're telling you, they're always asking you, "What's wrong with you?" Or you notice that people don't answer your calls and people are trying to tell you, you act like something's wrong with you, you need to change. If a lot of people are doing that, it ain't nothing wrong with looking at yourself. It is nothing wrong with taking a look at yourself to say, I can't stay in a relationship. I can't stay on the job. I can't sit in the room with other people. Everybody's saying I'm a problem. What's going on with me? What am I holding on to? Because I've not been crushed. I'm just wounded because I'm still standing. But what is it that I need to do so that I can move on, so that I can become the best version of myself, so that I can live in purpose? You understand that? And don't get confused. You may have a good job with a lot of money, but you can still be holding on to things that are affecting other areas in your life. It could be your health. You could see unforgiveness in your health. A lot of times people say I'm addicted to food, and that's why I'm obese. Baby, it may not be the addiction to food that's causing you obesity. It may be your addiction to unforgiveness. Do you understand that? You might be addicted to not forgiving people. So because you're holding on to all that, you're using food as a crutch. Unforgiveness can have you have so many things go on in your life at one time that are not good. And sometimes it could just be one thing that's falling apart because you can't forgive. So it could be your health, it could be your job, it could be your relationship, it could be the fact that you can't live in your purpose. So many things you got to learn to let it go. And I know people have done things to us. People have done things to me. I'm gonna tell you something about my father. When I was a young kid, my father used to always tell me that he couldn't stand the sound of my voice, and it hurt me. It hurt me. And when I started speaking, because by the way, for those of you who don't know, I am an award-winning inspirational speaker, baby. Isn't that something? I grew up being told that by my father, he couldn't stand the sound of my voice. And look at me here now speaking. And I hated him for that. Not only did I hate him for that, I learned to hate my own voice because of that. And then one day, as I grew and I started, going to see coaches, transformational coaches, life coaches, people like myself that help guide people into their greatness and doing self studying on my own, I started to understand what forgiveness was and how amazing forgiveness can be for me. And as I started to forgive, I heard my father's voice saying, because my father used to call me Gwen. He could not pronounce Gwendolyn. My name is Gwendolyn. He could not pronounce my name. He would say, Gwen, your voice is very irritable. And he would correct me. And when I started to forgive him, I started to look at the situation. And let me tell you what I was. I was blinded by the words he said that I wanted to hear that weren't so good. But when I started searching for forgiveness, I started hearing the good things he said and what he did. My father began to train me to pronounce my words properly. And I was so hurt by what he did that I couldn't see the wisdom that he was giving me. The pain blinded the gift. You understand that? Something bad happened. Yes, he said horrible things about the way I spoke. But telling you this because sometimes good things come from what we go through. My voice was a diamond in the rough. Do you understand that? A diamond goes through something before it becomes. And I'm not saying that it's right for someone to hurt you. I'm not saying it's right for someone to fire you. I'm not saying it's right for someone to cheat you, but it is right for you to find out the lessons in it and become stronger. It is right for you to find the testimony in it to help others. Because that's what I'm doing today. The things I've been through, grew through, and learned from, I now share. That's why when I do my podcast, Win Win with Gwen, right here on YouTube, by the way, check it out. A new episode comes out every Friday at 6:30, and it's going to help you just as much as my lives are, honey. When I'm not here on live, you can find me there. Go to Win Win with Gwen, and that's WINWIN with GWN for those of you who don't know that. Here, Latia, if you don't mind typing that out for me, I love you. I appreciate everything that you do for me. So yes, as a young girl, I've wrote a book. It's called Get Beat to Get Better. Now, I took the acronym BEAT, BEAT, because I was abused. And I took the acronym and I turned it into something positive. See, and that's what I'm telling you. You got to take what you've been through and you got to use it, honey. That fly better leave me alone. You got to use what you've been through. So I took that and I changed it into an acronym. And you can get that book on Amazon, by the way. Get Beat to Get Better by Gwendolyn Shores. It's an amazing book. It has a lot of testimonies in it of what I went through, how I grew through those, and how you can too, by the way. If you want to be inspired, get that book. I had some people on live last week go and get that book, and I appreciate that. I am humbled by their purchase, but I am more happy because I know that book was written to help people overcome things. So if you need to help, you need help overcoming things with forgiveness, with courage, with self-love, with self-care, all those things that take that allows you to become whole, that allows you to live in your purpose, that allows you to become healthy, then get that book. But yeah, I speak of the fact that my testimony helps individuals. I've been through things. My father was an abuser. I wrote that book and used that term BEAT as an acronym, and it stands for belief, expectations, affirmations, and tenacity. And to me, those are the building blocks that it takes to become. And I teach you that in that book. So, yes, you have to look through the muddy waters. You got to look through what you've been through and grab the wisdom and grab the strength and understand that you're still standing, my friends. You were never crushed like the head of the snake. You were bit at the ankle. And now all you got to do is heal so that you can walk up the stairs that God has laid before you to get you to where you got to go. And we're going to talk about those stairs, baby. We got a lot to talk about tonight. And I'm glad you're here with me tonight. It ain't by accident. Ain't nothing by accident. Everything happens with a reason. So do not leave this live. You stay here, honey, because if I haven't hit your nail on the head yet, it's coming. There's some words here tonight for you. They just may not have gotten to you yet, baby. But let me tell you something. They're going to come to me, through me, to you. You hang out with me, honey. If you swipe away, you gonna be back, baby. Because you know what? If there's something you need to hear, you can't run from it, baby. It's gonna find you. Even if it doesn't come from my mouth to your ears, it's gonna come from somewhere else. So you might as well stay here and get what you got coming. You understand? You might as well stay here and get what you got coming because I got a lot for y'all tonight when it comes to unforgiveness. Let me take a minute out and read some of these remarks. I love the fact that you all are talking back to me. Okay, yes, yes. Just listen when we started here. We started. Hello, Michael. Hello, Larry. Hello, here, Latia. Hello, everybody. Hello, Hollister, Amazon. But thank you for pinning that. You are so amazing. And again, happy Father's Day to all the amazing men here tonight. I love my father. Even though I told you things that he might have done or did do to me, I forgave him. And I'm going to tell you why I forgive him. Because you know what? As I got to know more about my father, as I was learning about forgiveness, I learned his story. My father had a story. My father had a testimony. He never told it to me. I learned it from others. I was being raised by someone who was broken. You understand? If you're raised by someone that's broken, they don't know. They don't know. They're broken sometimes. They don't know how to become unbroken. They don't know how to heal the bite of the ankle. My father was never crushed. He gave me what he could when it came to love, and I appreciate him guiding me with my voice, seeing something in me that at a time I didn't see in me. He saw something in me great. Even in the midst of tearing me down, baby, he was building me up. Now, I forgive the part of him that tore me down, and I am blessed by the part of him that built me up. See, I looked through the muddy waters and I found something good that my father gave me. I'm still standing after what I went through as a child. I'm still standing. I'm breaking generational curses every single day. Not only am I breaking them in my own life, but I am so strong that I'm here on this live helping you to do the same if you're not already doing so. Don't let me take your credit, baby. You're doing that. Even if it's something that I encourage you or motivate you or inspire you, baby, that work is being done by you. And it's not easy. Baby, the most important things in life that we have to get to or go through or accomplish, they're not easy. And it's the stuff that we go through, those bites on the ankle that I'm talking about, that gives us the strength that prepares us to be able to propel to the next level. Baby, growth ain't for the weak. Forgiveness ain't for the weak. Healing ain't for the weak, baby. And ain't nothing weak about you. Ain't nothing weak about you, baby. I don't know if you've been crying in the past. I don't know if you cried today. I don't know if you asked yourself, why me? I don't know if you said those words, I can't take no more. One more thing happening, I'm just going to crack. I'm just going to break. I'm just going to go off. You don't have to do that, baby. What you have to do is keep standing. When life knocks you down 9 times, baby, you get back up 10. I don't care if life knocks you down 100, baby. You're strong enough to get up 101. You built like that. I don't care if love has done you wrong. You're capable of loving again. All it takes is some forgiveness. All it takes is some healing. Because forgiveness is for you. And I want you to know that. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else, baby, but you. Let's keep going. So, yeah, understanding a word, enmity, Enmity. That's a very powerful word. Now, let's say God told the snake, I will put enmity between you and the woman. That's what the Bible said. It said enmity. And let me go a little further. The definition of enmity, and I'm going to spell that again. And somebody will please put that spelling in there for someone who didn't catch that. That's Enmity. And it means a state of division, holy boundaries, or active resistance against what is bad for you. You have enmity within you, baby. When something happens to you, you have the ability to active resistance. You have the ability to set up boundaries. You have the ability to divide. You understand? You are a survivor, honey. That's what I get from that word. That's what I get from that word. When my father would verbally abuse me, I had the ability to still survive in the midst of that. I had the ability to heal after that. I have the ability to go and share my testimony to help someone else, which means my testimony is enmity. Okay? And I want you to know that. You got the ability, you have the ability to protect yourself even after something happens. And that means to heal. That means to stand back up. That means to set up a boundary. That means to forgive. That means to continue to grow. You're not stuck in that situation. The only way you stay stuck is if you say and allow that to happen. You are not what happened to you. You are you, and you are special. And you don't need nobody to say sorry to you. Don't nobody owe you nothing, honey, but you owe you everything. And you have to do the work. And I say that all the time. I say that on my podcast. You've got to do the work. And being here today on this live is you doing the work. And that's why I told you to stick around. You've got to stick around because these are the lessons that you need. These are the words that you need. So many people are just waking up and living life automatic. They wake up, they drink the coffee, they take the shower, they grab the toast, they grab the keys, they run out the door, they go to work, they come back home, they sit down, and they're not living life. They're just being alive. You have to live life. Life has purpose. There's things you have to do. You have to take care of your health. You have to love yourself. You know, we want to love our children, honey, but how can you give something when you're depleted? People are out here thinking they're loving their kids and raising their kids, and you can't be loving them if you're not loving yourself. You can't be loving them properly. I'm not saying you don't love them, but you can't give them the full capacity of love. My father loved me, honey, but he didn't give me the full capacity. He left me out here bit by the ankle, having to heal myself. If you heal yourself, then your children don't have to go through what we're going through today. We break those cycles. If you do the work that it takes to forgive what came against you, You don't leave it for your grandchildren and your great grandchildren, honey. You break cycles and you allow them the opportunity to have to do something else other than work on themselves. Could you imagine what they could do if we did the work on ourselves today? Could you imagine who and what I would be doing right now if my father had did the work on himself? I'm a great speaker, baby. But could you imagine how much greater I could have been earlier off? I became what I am now once I started to work through all of that. You understand? But I'm not mad because I went through stuff because again, we can't take it back. We got to make the best of it. You understand? We got to make the best of what we went through. And who knows, sometimes the stuff we go through made us into the better person. That's how crazy obstacles are. Baby, the strong survive. And we are survivors, but now we've got to be thrivers. You understand me? We got to be thrivers. Let's go to the next thing. So now you know the word enmity. And I'm going to tell you again, enmity means a state of division, holy boundaries, or active resistance against what is bad for you. Let's talk about the connection. Because I told y'all when you're using Eve today, and I usually don't talk about the Bible, but I'm referencing it today because I had to. And baby, when you got to, you got to. When God tells you speak, baby. And I'm not trying to offend nobody against their religion here today. That's not what I'm going to do. I respect everybody, honey, because I am nobody's judge. I'm not here to judge nobody, and I'm here to love you. I'm here to love you. But there's a good lesson in this today. And that's why I'm sharing this with you all today. So, yes, God did not destroy Eve. And this is in Genesis 3. Instead, he gave her enmity as a protective tool. Enmity means you recognize the bad thing, the abuse, the toxic habit, the enemy, and you stay separated from it. If you're in a situation right now with people that have hurt you, that you're holding on to unforgiveness for, you've got to separate yourself. You've got to protect yourself. You've got to set boundaries. It don't mean you can't never see them or speak to them again, but you got to protect yourself. That's part of forgiveness. Forgiveness is laying the grounds to protect yourself. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. You understand? I'm gonna talk about some steps in a minute, because you got steps. If you walk up a step and on your way to whoever you're going to become, and one of those steps is dry rotted and you fall through, and you climb your way back up out of that you fell through, you understand that that step is no good anymore. You can't keep trying to walk on that step. And if you make it to the next step and that step got nails in it and you step on one of them nails and it hurts your foot, one, you ain't gonna step back into the hole below you because you know it's a hole. You're not gonna step back into the stair below you because you know it's dry water and there's a hole. You already fell through that. You learned a lesson. You're not gonna step right back on that nail because you know that nail is there. So now you know you got to keep going up, and that's what I'm telling you. You got to keep healing. You got to keep doing the work, honey. You can't stay on that step that's dry rotted and sit down in that hole. You got to get up and live. You can't just be alive. You can't step back on that nail. You got to keep going. You got to keep climbing those steps and learning what occurred, what you've been through, and not go back through it. And you got to understand that on your journey to healing, that the next step might have something on it. Healing is not easy. First, you fell through the dry rot, then you stepped on a nail. And the next step, what is going to be going on with that step before you get to your destination? Healing is not easy, honey. You don't never know what's on the step ahead of you. You don't know what's on the road in front of you. But what you do know is that you survived step number two. You survived step number, I'm sorry, let me go back. You survived step number one. You survived step number two with the nail on it. Now that's going to tell you that you're strong enough to keep going on because it's proof that you're strong enough to survive these obstacles that are in your way. And that's part of forgiveness. Forgiveness is going to have some steps you got to go through. You're going to have to set boundaries. You may have to tell that person, hey, don't call my house at certain times. Hey, don't disrespect me. Hey, I'm not loving people anymore that are gamblers. You know, I've been through that before. If you're a gambler and I see it, That's not for me. I've learned. I've looked through the muddy waters of my breakup, of my last relationships, of the situations that didn't resonate with who I was and what I wanted in life, and I learned those lessons. So many of us don't learn the lessons. We don't heal. We don't forgive, and we end up back in the same situation that hurt us in the start. We got to break these boundaries of negativity. There's people who put up boundaries of negativity in your life. Boundaries come in positive form and they come in negative form. It's some people that come in your life with nothing but traps, nothing but arguments, nothing but fights, nothing but financial disruption or destruction. And you can't keep signing up for that stuff because you angry and didn't get over it the first time, because you angry and didn't take a look at what happened in your life because you so blinded by the pain. You so blinded by the anger. You've got to let this stuff go, honey. Stop pouring poison in a cup for your enemy and drinking it yourself. You feel me? Let it go. Let me check on these. Y'all, I see them hearts and I sure do appreciate it. Thank you all so much, guys. Thank you all. So yes, and then let's talk about, because I've been talking about the lesson, forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean you pretend the snake didn't bite. I don't want you to lie your way out of it. If it happened to you, it happened to you. Face it, baby, because the only way you can grow is if you name what hurt you. You got to be able to name it. We're not going to pretend. So many people walk around pretending they had the best childhood ever. So many people walk around pretending they're in the best marital situation ever. They have pretended so long that they have tricked themselves with their lies. And if you busy pretending, you can't be healing. Let me repeat that. If you busy pretending, you can't be healing. Pretending and healing is like oil and water. They don't mix. You've got to name what hurt you in order for you to forgive it. You got to name that obstacle in order for you to grow, in order for you to become. Baby, we ain't trying to lie our way through nothing. Cause you can't lie your way through it. Cause a good lie gonna always catch up with you. What's done in the dark. I can't hear y'all. Was done in the dark. I can't hear y'all. Was done in the dark. I can't hear y'all. Let me see y'all type that in. Was done in the dark. I'm not gonna finish it off. I'm gonna wait till I see somebody type it in, and then I'm gonna say it again. Okay. When I see it, then I'm gonna repeat it. Cause I want to hear y'all say it. I want y'all to speak to me. Same way I'm speaking to you all. We're a family here. This is not just about me. This is not just about me. Let me see what Larry said. Larry said, remember, there is only one you. You are unique. You are awesome and amazing. You are the author of the story of you. Larry, thank you for sharing that with us. And as I read that, I read that to each and every one of you that are listening right now. And I see Think Tank. Hello, Think Tank. Happy Father's Day. Happy Sunday. And thank you so much. He called me beautiful, and you are beautiful too. And I'm not talking about the outer, I'm talking about the inner, baby. This is just a shell. Baby, if you ain't beautiful from the inside, to me, you ain't beautiful on the outside. So thank you so much for that compliment. I hope you see my inner beauty. Thank you so much. What's done in the dark will come to the light. Thank you so much for typing that in. What's done in the dark will come to light. You can't pretend. You can't pretend what happened to you didn't happen. You've got to face it so that you can heal. You've got to face it so that you can forgive. You got to face it so that you can tell your testimony and help the next person in life. It's important. It is so important. It is so important. Let's see here. So I wrote all these notes down earlier today, and I said I got to share these with you guys. I love taking notes because they keep me in alignment of what I want to speak on each night. So yes, forgiveness does not mean you pretend the snake didn't bite. Forgiveness means you use your enmity to set boundaries so you do not get bitten by the same exact situation twice. Ain't no way you walking around going, how did I get in this again? If you have to ask yourself, why you in another situation, that's because you didn't learn, you didn't heal, you didn't forgive. That's on you. You got to do the work. Because, I've heard people say, um, I'm bored in this relationship and we don't ever do nothing. And what's wrong with you getting up and doing the things that you like to do? And occasionally letting that person come in and do things with you. You got to find your happiness even in the relationships. You got to find your happiness on your job. You got to find your happiness when it comes to your health. You got to take care of you, honey. That ain't nobody's responsibility. That's yours. Their help is extra. They're taking you to the movies extra. They're loving you is extra. You got to learn how to take care of you because you are everything. I know people that take care of everybody else but themselves. And you know what happens to that person? They're somewhere home sad, balled up in a knot, depressed until they come out to save the next person, to help the next person. They're not living life. They're just being alive. People think because they do good for other people that means they're doing good. You're not doing good just because you're doing good for other people. You're doing good when you do for yourself and fill your cup and then let people get what spills over. You've got to fill your cup. You got to fill your cup with self love, with confidence, with respect, with healing, with forgiveness. Baby, fill your cup. Fill it, baby. Stop depleting yourself. Stop, because eventually you ain't going to have nothing left to give nobody. And then you're going to have to come up from ground zero, baby. It's hard to come up from ground zero. It's not impossible. It's possible. And you can do it if you're already there. But if you're not at ground zero, honey, grab a hold of that opportunity and that blessing and fill your cup completely, honey. Take care of you. So, yes, let's talk about this broken staircase of life because problems are not roadblocks. They are simply a rough staircase you must climb to reach your purpose. And that's what I was just saying. I get ahead of my notes. I wrote the notes to stay ahead to me to know where I'm at. But then again, I get to talking, y'all. But yes, they are simply a rough staircase you must climb to reach your purpose. Those stairs aren't gonna always be easy. Now, sometimes in life you can walk up the stairs with ease. But baby, then there's times when you can't walk up them steps with ease. Like I said, there's the dry rot, there's the nail, there's the uneven stair. There's stairs that ain't gonna be so smooth, and then you get a smooth when you're on your way to doing what it is you want to do when it comes to healing, when it comes to forgiving, when it comes to growing, when it comes to becoming, and you really feel like, okay, I'm about to hit the top, and then everything falls apart. And I'm telling you this because on your road to healing, on your road to forgiving, I don't want you to think that it's going to be easy. If it is, kudos. Kudos to you. But if it's not, I want you to understand that that's normal. It's normal for you to run into obstacles, even when things became smooth. I tell a story about when I wanted to become an inspirational speaker. And I didn't know that one of the biggest fears in life was public speaking. Nobody told me. I didn't get that memo. So I signed up for this club called Toastmasters. And it's an amazing club, guys. If you're trying to learn to become a better speaker, maybe you're part of that now, maybe you've never heard of it. Toastmasters. So when I joined the club, they asked who wanted to do this icebreaker. That's the first speech we have to do in Toastmasters. And I remember the first day I raised my hand and I said, I'll do it. Everybody in the room turned around and looked at me and their mouths dropped open. You're going to do your icebreaker the very next meeting? I said, yeah. Why is everybody looking surprised? And I laughed. I said, wow, wait till they find out. It's not hard to impress these people. Wait till they find out I can tie my shoes. They're going to be excited. They're really excited because I said I want to speak. And I was like, anyway, so I went home. I prepared my speech, y'all. I knew my speech. I thought, oh, the speech was about me. Who can't go talk about themselves in a room full of people? I stood up in that room, y'all. Nothing would come out of my mouth. Nothing. And that's why they were shocked. I got on that step and that step was dry rotted. And finally, I heard a voice and it said, "You got this. You got this, baby." And I snapped back to it. I came back and I just walked off. I walked off and sat down. And I told myself, I will never, ever, ever in my life speak in front of a crowd of people again in my life because I didn't know what was going to be on the next step. Was it going to be a dry rot step? Was it going to be a nail in the step? Was the step going to be leaning? Was I going to fall again? Was I going to fail again? And that's what I'm telling you about forgiveness. It might not be easy, but it's possible. And there was something I did. My light just went out, guys, and that's fine by me because I'm gonna keep on talking. Hold on a minute. Matter of fact, I'm gonna fix this situation because I know how to fix it. Hold on. We got time. All I gotta do, I think even let's see here. Oh, my computer died, so we ain't gonna have that good light anymore, guys, and that's perfectly fine by me. Okay, we're gonna just keep the light we got. I'm gonna try to bring it over a little bit. We're gonna work with what we got. That's good because y'all can still see me. Hey Debbie, how are you? Thanks for the kisses, thanks for the hearts, and thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Thank you guys so much. So we got a little romantic setting here. The lights are dimmed. But we're gonna keep on speaking, y'all. So yeah. So I told myself, I said, I'm never getting up and speaking again because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know that was gonna happen. I didn't know I was gonna shut down. But then I asked myself my why. I said, why is public speaking so important to me? What happens if I don't become a speaker? After all that work my father put into me, after all that healing I went through, after building a life full of testimonies and stories, what would happen if I didn't let the world hear my voice? And my why told me that your purpose was bigger than your fear and that you were going to be okay. You just have to have enmity, but you got to keep climbing that stairway. And I showed back up and I shook. When I spoke, I was nervous. My mouth would get dry. And I kept coming back. I got knocked down 9 and got back up 10, honey. And then, yes, I became an award winning inspirational speaker, an award winning storyteller, a podcast host. Yes. I didn't just wake up speaking this way. It took work. It took courage. It took love. It took forgiveness. It took a lot. It took me naming my problems and facing them. It took me not lying that everything in my life was okay. As my mom used to say, everything's hunky dory. And I used to say that too because I learned it from my mom, but everything wasn't hunky dory. And you can't pretend, you can't live a life of lies. If you're living a life of lies and you're not living a life of purpose, baby, you're not. Ain't no way. You're not. So what I'm trying to tell you, that's one battle I went through amongst many more that created the woman that you see today. And I'm not afraid to climb the steps and fall through and get back up and take the next one. But let me change that. I am afraid sometimes, but I fear it and I do it anyway. And that's what I'm telling you. Life is going to come with all kind of fears, but you got to understand that you've already feared a lot and did it anyway, and you're still standing. Remember that. Whenever you're facing fear, I want you to face everything and rise. You know, they say fear stands for fear everything and run, but you can face everything and rise. That's an acronym. You don't have to run when you're afraid. You can shake, you can cry, you can hesitate, you can step back for a minute, but you got to keep pushing past it because you can do that because you're you. You are unique. Just like my friend said earlier. Let me find that statement again. Larry said, remember, there's only one you. You are unique. You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the author of the story of you. And I love that. I love that. Matter of fact, I'm going to screenshot that. Hope I don't end the whole live by trying to screenshot. I got it. I got it, guys. I love that. So yes. So I was talking about the staircase, and the staircase represents conditions. Okay. It represents the real in life. It represents the lessons that I'm teaching tonight. I talked about the exposed nail. That means a specific person or a toxic situation that hurt you deeply. That's what that nail represents. Mark mark where that nail is. Do not step on it again. Do not hold anger at the nail. Just use wisdom to step around it. You understand? So all these things I was mentioning, I'm going to try to make them make sense to you. I hear the young people say, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Coach Gwendolyn's going to make it make sense tonight the best I can. The best I can. Because, guys, you know what? These lives are new to me. I think I told you all, I used to have the hardest time. It took me approximately 2 years to be able to come on these lives and talk to you all. This was another something I had to muster up to do. I had to push past fear and do it anyway. I had to look for my why. Why was it important that I do these lives? I couldn't lie my way out of it. I couldn't. I tried to. I tried to. I used to say, well, when I come on here, nobody talks to me. What that got to do with you doing what you got to do? Those are excuses. Stop using excuses when it comes to your healing, baby. Stop using excuses when it comes to forgiveness. You know, sometimes the people you want to give you forgiveness, they leave this planet, if you know what I mean. They pass away. Then what you gonna do? That's how that's how serious it is that you should not allow someone else to be responsible for your healing and your moving on and your growing and your purpose. And some people will not give you forgiveness just to spite you, just because they don't like you, just because they're angry, just because they haven't healed. You waiting for a broken person to give you something to help fix you? Baby, you got to give it to you. It's just a bite on the ankle. Your head ain't crushed. It's a bite on the ankle. You can heal. You can walk into your purpose, baby. You don't need them. So, yeah, I talked about the dry rot. It represents unexpected structural collapse, like sudden job loss or financial ruin. That's why I talked about these steps. If you fall through step 9, you cannot lie there. You must reach up, grab step 10, and pull yourself out because you can. If ain't nobody told you that you strong enough to pull yourself up, I'm telling you today. And I'm telling you that I've done it. I'm telling you I've seen other people do it. I'm telling you the fact that you're on this live, that whatever you're going through, whatever you've been through, you can pull yourself up, baby. And how about the missing step? Where you step and ain't no step there. Those are moments where you feel completely unsupported and empty. You don't need the support of others. That's extra. You learn to give you what you need. You support you. You get up and you read what you need to heal. You get up and you go get a transformational coach like Gwendolyn Shores, Coach Gwendolyn, to help you, guide you to your greatness. You get up and you listen to positive music. You get up and you take yourself to church. You get up and you find a good friend to talk to. You get up and you go apply for a new job if that old job is treating you wrong. You get up and you walk out that relationship if that relationship is not good for you, and you go get counseling together or by yourself so that you can survive in that relationship that you're in. Yeah. You feel unsupported because you're not supporting yourself. When you learn to give you what you need, everybody else's is extra. And you stop looking for excuses not to stand tall, not to get up and walk after that bite on your ankle. You have a strong responsibility, and that is to take care of you, to give you what you need, baby. I can only give you but so much, and I'm going to give you what I can. I'm going to give you what I can. But at the end of the day, my help is just a helping hand. It's a hand that comes out to help you and goes back in. But your hand is that steady hand. Your hand is the one that has to stay there for you, to give you support, to give you love, to push you up when you fall down. Your hand is everything. Stop depending on people to give you what you need. Oh, I didn't go walking today because I didn't go because you said you was gonna go walking with me. Baby, that's your health. You got to go with or without your walking partner. Oh, I was going to go sign up to go to college, but I didn't, but you didn't pick me up and take me. Baby, get an Uber, get a taxi. Don't let nothing stop you from getting what you need to get. Stop letting people be responsible both for your purpose, for your healing, for your forgiveness. You got this. When one door closes, another one will open. But you got to be the one to open that doorknob sometimes. Sometimes somebody will get the door for you, but on the days when they don't get that door, that's on you. You got to get that door. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Take charge of your life, baby, because your life is beautiful. And it ain't doing nothing but getting even more beautiful. And I love that for you. I love that you're in this space, in this room where we heal, where we love, where we don't judge. I'm going to try my darndest to be here for you every Sunday at 7:30. For those of you who don't know, every Sunday at 7:30, Coach Gwendolyn is going to be here growing with you all. What I'm doing now, I'm growing. The fact that I have to go out and find subjects and learn information and take stuff out of me to give to you all. In return, y'all give me something by being here, by typing those wonderful messages. I see you. I see you. I believe in you. And I love you. For those of you who don't believe in yourselves at 100%, you keep coming back to this live and let me help guide you to a point where you can believe in yourself 100%. Who knows? It may even go to 101% because it's in you, baby. It's in you. You may fall short of having strong self-belief, or having courage, of having self-respect, of setting up boundaries for yourself. But I say it falls short. But that doesn't mean that you can't grow, because you can. You got this. No doubt in my mind. If I didn't think you could, I wouldn't be wasting my time here tonight. I'm here because I know it's possible for you to forgive and move on. It's possible. Okay, we got W Show Gold. You know, I'm messing that up, but let me say hello. Debbie, I appreciate those hearts. We got Dante 23 Stokes. Hello. Hello, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you guys for coming here. Thank you so much. So yes, and y'all don't forget to hit those thumbs up. And I see all those hearts. Y'all got me really, woo! I'm going crazy tonight, all these hearts. I love love. I love love. And those hearts show me that there's love on the other side of the screen. And I hope that y'all can feel that it's love coming from me to you. I love y'all. It's a spot where y'all let me be me. If I want to be goofy, I can. If I want to be a little bit of crazy, I can. If I want to be sensitive, I can. If I want to be loud, I can. If I want to be soft, I can. There's so many sides of who we are. And you should be able to express that. And that's what this spot is for. It's for the broken. It's for the healed. It's for the happy. It's for the sad. Baby, this is the yin and the yang, baby. And I'm so glad that you're here with me. I'm so glad, guys. Thanks for joining me on this live. And you know what? Watch this live again, because believe it or not, when you're looking at the live, it's good. But when after I get off the live and I go back and watch it, I learn from myself. And that's how amazing it is when you're on here speaking from your heart, when y'all on here sending me messages from your heart. To go back and read all this and see all this and remember all this and experience it a second time is amazing. Y'all don't know what y'all do for Coach Gwendolyn. I love y'all so much. I really do. Yeah, guys. So let's talk here. So, I told y'all I was going to give y'all some lessons. I'm going to give y'all the healing blueprint, steps to let go and move on. Steps on how to let go and move on, guys. That's what we're about to do right now. I just messed my hair up. It's fine. I like messy hair. I like messy hair. You know what? We ain't got to be perfect. We're beautiful even if we're not perfect. And that's what I'm telling you. Meet yourself where you are right now. Don't be hard on yourself if you've been holding on to things, if you've not been looking through the things you've been through and getting stronger from them. It's okay. Meet yourself where you are. You don't have to be perfect to heal. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to be perfect to be beautiful. I always say I'm a beautiful mess. My hair is a beautiful mess. My life is a beautiful mess. My life is not perfect. There's areas I'm still working on, even though I'm a transformational coach. I still need help. I still need to turn to situations that will help grow me, to turn to tools that'll help strengthen me. I still have the work to do. I'm still stepping on steps and falling through and getting back up. I'm no different than you. I've been through some things, baby. I want to discuss some of those things with y'all on my lives. Get that book, Get Beat to Get Better. You'll know a lot about what I'm talking through about. There's a story in my book where, and I tell you, my father was extremely abusive. Most Lifetime movies can't touch what I've been through. Get that book, baby. You want to hear some stuff and see some, meet a real person that been through some stuff, baby. And I'm not talking about one thing, baby. I've been through many obstacles. There was a time when my father had told me that he would kill every last one of us. Mm-hmm. And I woke up one day and I smelled something in my basement. And if you want to know what was in that basement and you want to read about that story, get that book. But no, it's not going to be too much that you can't handle because guess what? I'm still standing, which means I wrote the book, but I got over the obstacles. Y'all check that book out, Get Beat to Get Better. And it's not, I wrote it from my life experiences. It's just not something I threw together. That book was written by a high school dropout. A person that had a 1 point some grade point average. I wrote a book. What I'm telling you is once you learn how to forgive, once you learn how to look through the muddy waters, once you learn how to heal and keep going through all the obstacles, no matter what hits you, once you learn your why, you're going to be surprised at stuff that you can do. I never would have thought that I would be an inspirational speaker. I never thought I would be a CEO. I never thought that I would be the person breaking generational curses. Look at you. Look at me. Look at us. We doing this one day at a time. Every time we lay down and we wake up, we got the opportunity to get it right. Every time we lay down and we get up, we got the opportunity to talk our testimonies to help someone else grow. And it is amazing. Even though we had tears rolling down our faces, we're not crying right now because we're strong. And that doesn't mean we won't cry tomorrow, but we won't cry forever because we are amazing. So let's go by the step action plan for forgiveness because forgiveness is a daily choice, not a one time feeling. I want you to use these 4 practical steps to start letting go tonight. Yes, we're going to let this stuff go tonight. The first thing you want to do is acknowledge the bite, meaning you got to name exactly what hurts you. Do not minimize the pain of the abuse, the job loss, the betrayal. You don't have to, and you can't if you're going to let it go. Then I want you to separate the nail. Yeah. Separate the nail, meaning realize that holding on to anger does not punish the person who hurt you. It only poisons your own mind. Baby, you got to get that poison out your mind. You got to have a growth mindset. You can't walk around with that fixed mindset. That fixed mindset gonna keep you down. That fixed mindset gonna keep you hurting. That fixed mindset gonna keep you ill. You got to open that mind up to healing and stop letting that go. I ain't gonna forgive them. Why should I forgive them? If I forgive them, then they gonna feel like they got away with it. If you don't forgive them, they get away with it. And they continue to hurt you. You got to look at that different. Oh, they gonna feel my pain, or they gonna hear my pain. The person who put you in pain still gets to hear that you were in pain without even touching you anymore. Hmm. Who winning? Who winning if you holding on to that pain? They can see that you can't even live your life. You just alive. They winning. They are winning. But for them to see you smile, for them to see you forgive, for them to see you not forget now, but for them to see you thrive, for them to see you live your purpose, for them to see you help other people that have been through what you've been through and people that they wanted to hold down and hurt. Matter of fact, your forgiveness might be the thing that makes them heal so they won't claim another victim. So they won't hurt somebody else in another relationship. So they won't treat somebody bad on the job. Do you know how powerful your forgiveness is? Your forgiveness helps everybody in the long run, baby. Let it go. Let it go. If I ain't never begged you for nothing tonight, and people say I don't beg nobody for nothing. Baby, I ain't too proud to beg. And I'm begging you tonight. I'm begging you tonight. Let it go. Let it go. There's so much greatness in you. You already great. Think what's inside of you once you let that stuff go. Baby, we need you. We need your gifts. We need your purpose. We need you to live life and not just be alive. We need you to love yourself. Let your cup overflow and flow over so other people can get what's in your good cup, baby. You got some good stuff in your cup. Fill it up. There's an artist on here tonight that nobody can see your art because you're in pain. There's a beautiful father here today on Father's Day. They cannot be the best father because of what he's going through and been through. What you're holding on to, let it go. There's a teacher here tonight that can't teach the students at the full capacity because they won't let it go. Let it go. Look at how amazing you already are. Imagine what's in you that hasn't come out of you yet that we need. We need you. You need you. Fill your cup, baby. And it can't get filled if it's blocked with unforgiveness. It can't get filled. You got to take that stuff out, that cup, and put what matters inside of it. What you fill your cup with matters too. And that's something I just said. That's a beautiful, beautiful saying. What you fill your cup with matters. Because there's some people walking around with a cup full of nothing, a cup full of anger, a cup full of meanness, a cup full of illness. What you filling up in your cup because you holding on to that unforgiveness? Baby, dump all that stuff out and put that good stuff in that cup and let it run over so somebody can get some of that. Because, baby, somebody who, like my father, he was walking around with a cup full of evil. And that stuff was spilling over and it spilled over into his kids. And then we had to grow up and break generational curses. You understand? I could have been doing something else. But because I went through it, I'm going to find the best out of it. I'm gonna find the wisdom. I'm gonna find the strength. I'm gonna find the stories. Because you've been through it don't mean you can't use it for good, baby. It happened. We ain't gonna lie, it happened. But what you do with it matters. So let's keep going. I talked about canceling the debt. Make a conscious decision that you will no longer wait for an apology to move on with your life. Make a conscious decision. Say that tonight. Type it in the comments. Hello, Just Pray. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. If I missed somebody's name tonight, and I didn't see my friend Glenn. Glenn, if you're in this room, hey Glenn. I haven't seen your comments, but hey, I know you're here. You're so supportive. Y'all, thank you for hitting that thumbs up. Thank y'all for let me take a break and give y'all some hearts. If y'all only knew how good this feels. I wish I had a button, but this gonna do just good. This is gonna suffice tonight. See, we don't let nothing stop us on this live. We don't need buttons. Our light went out earlier. It was fine. That fly was bothering me. He gone now. I guess he's asleep. But let me not speak too loud before you get back up and start buzzing around my head again. But yeah, we're not gonna let nothing stop us. If the stairway is rotted, if the stair is missing, if there's a nail in the step, if we get bit by the ankle by a snake, we know that our head ain't crushed. We ain't been crushed. We can get up. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Y'all got this. You all got this. So let's talk about guard the scar. Forgiving someone does not mean you trust them again right away. See, sometimes you don't have to. People can build trust up. People say you can't, but you can. Now, some people you can't build trust up again. Some people got to get on out your life. That's why I say you got to choose your boundaries. You got to choose, is this person staying in my life or this person out of my life? But baby, what matters is that you protect yourself, okay? So when I do say trust them again, everybody ain't gonna be trustable. So you got to decide who can, who cannot be trusted again. And you can forgive them while still keeping your distance. Sometimes you gotta keep your distance. They can't come back in your life, but you gotta do that forgiveness. You got to forgive them, honey. So, overcoming the obstacles on your staircase. Let's talk about the staircase again that I've been mentioning all night long, baby. We've been walking some stairs tonight, honey. We've been walking some stairs, and that fly is back. But we've been walking some stairs, y'all. We're gonna continue to walk these stairs. When you hit a broken step in your life, you need immediate tools to keep from falling backwards. So, first thing you got to do is inspect the step. Look closely at your current financial and emotional problems to see what it can teach you. And that's when Coach Gwendolyn's always talking about looking through the muddy waters, honey. You got to look through there. It ain't gonna be easy. That's why I say muddy water, honey. When you look at the muddy water, it's hard to see. But you gotta literally push in there. You gotta squint your eyes, you gotta look, you gotta be quiet. You got to look around. You got to find it. You understand? So yeah, you got to inspect the step. You got to look close at the current financial or emotional problem to see what it can teach you. You got to fix your focus. You got to stop looking down the step you just fell through. You got to look up towards the next step ahead of you. You understand that? Like I said, you already seen what that step had to offer. You already fell in that hole. Why are you gonna keep going backwards and sit and keep falling through the same hole? They say when you do something over and over again, it doesn't work. They call that what? I'm gonna let y'all fill in that blank for me too. I'm gonna look back up at this, and y'all gonna tell me when you do something, the same thing over and over again, and getting the same results that you don't need. Y'all tell me what that means, what that word is. I know y'all know. I'm gonna come back again because these messages they run kind of slow. I'm gonna see who knows that. So y'all be thinking about that while I keep going. Yes. So you gotta change your route. Let's talk about that. If a certain person or habit keeps hurting you, use wisdom to walk around them next time. I used to be around people who want to argue all the time. And I would go back and forth with them, trying to get them to understand me. And then I realized some people don't want to understand you. Some people can't understand you. And you got to walk away because arguments can escalate. Somebody got to have the sense to walk away. You got to have the sense to walk away from things in your life that no longer serve you. Yes, you got to walk away. You got to reach for help. Do not try to climb alone. See, sometimes you need help, but I didn't say help was a bad thing. I did say you got to do it. Help is different. Help means you're still making the moves. Help means you're still climbing the stairs. Help means you're still standing after the ankle bite from the snake. because your head ain't crushed. That means you're doing something. You're just getting assistance, honey. And don't pretend you don't need help because, baby, you do. Don't pretend you too strong because, baby, even strong people need help. Don't ever be too proud to get the help you need because you don't deserve to stay stuck. Strong people need help too. So if you're the strong one, stop being afraid to ask for help. Stop being afraid to allow people to give you what you need. You get that help, baby, and you be proud of that help. And don't forget that somebody helped you when you were down and you helped somebody else. I got so much help when I was down, guys. So much help. It was the time that I thought the world was horrible, that there were no good people in this world. But there are. There are amazing people in this world. You're one of them. And I'm so glad to be in your presence tonight. I love you guys. Blessings, everyone. Just praise that blessings, everyone. And I love that. So tonight, I'm getting ready to give y'all a call to action. I don't know if y'all can type this into your cell phone or if you can go get a paper and some pencil or a pen and some paper. I want y'all to run and get something to write with, something to write this down with. And if you don't write it down and you don't have anything, then I want you to come back to the end of this video. If you don't want to watch the whole video, come back to the end of this video and get this lesson because this is where the sweet spot of the night is. We getting ready to hit the sweet spot, baby. I'm getting ready to give you what you've been waiting for tonight. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to get yourself in order so that you can take this down because this is urgent what I'm about to give you. And I want you to share this with somebody. Because when I tell you there's so many people that are holding on to pains of the past and they can't get to the beautiful future that they desire and deserve. Yep. There's some people in here tonight and there's people outside of this live. And we're going to help them if we can. So I'm going to go ahead and progress on. I'm going to assume that y'all are ready. And this little fly, y'all, he got me. He back or she back. Okay, here we go. Tonight's call to action, the clean staircase challenge. We getting ready to fix this staircase, baby. We getting ready to heal that ankle bite. We getting ready to crush the head of the snake. Oh, it's about to go down. We getting ready to empty all that stuff out our cups and fill it with what we need. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? If you ready, hit them hearts. If you ready, hit them hearts. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down on a piece of paper the name of the person or one past event that's currently holding you back. What is that obstacle in your life? You got to be able to name it in order to heal. You got to be able to name it in order to forgive it. You understand that? So that's what I want you to do. I want you to write it down on a piece of paper, the name of the person or the event or the obstacle that's holding you back. And if you don't know the answer right now, this is for you to do later. But if you know right now, baby, write it down. Because sometimes we know, like we know what the problem is. But sometimes we got to sit back and think about it. And that's okay. That's okay. The next thing you got to do is you got to draw the nail. I want you next to that name or that obstacle, I want you to draw a picture of a nail. That's right. It ain't got to be a pretty nail because we talked about not being perfect earlier. That picture of that nail ain't got to be perfect. It can look like a T. It ain't got to be perfect. It ain't got to be pretty, baby. We know what it is. And we know it's powerful, even though it doesn't look like a nail. We know that it possesses power, even though it's not perfect. We know that it is going to give us what we need. even in its imperfected state. And that's what I'm saying about you. You're going to give you what you need, even in your imperfect state. You're going to meet yourself where you are, and you're going to go up the stairway from there. You got me? And when it gets bumpy along the way, you're going to say, hey, that step wasn't no good. I'm going to the next, the next, and the next. We're going to keep going over these obstacles. We're going to get where we got to go. Okay. So yes, draw a small picture of a nail next to that, because this represents the pain that has been sticking out in your life. That nail represents the pain, baby. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to release the weight. We're going to pray or state it out loud. No judgment, baby. No judgment. We're here to heal. We're here to heal. So if you pray your way through this, kudos. If you talk your way through this, kudos. The goal is to grow. The goal is to heal. The goal is to forgive. Okay? So pray or state out loud. This bit me, but it will not crush me. I leave this nail behind so my children don't step on it. Yes, we're paving the road for our children, our grandchildren, the kid next door, the kid that we have never met yet. This is for the next generation. We're breaking these cycles, baby. So I need you to say that, and I'm going to say that again. I want you to pray or state out loud. This bit me, but it will not crush me. I leave this nail behind so my children don't step on it. See, I had to step on the nails because my father, he didn't remove those nails. And I forgive him because his parents didn't remove the nails. But when you know better, you do better. And being here tonight on this live, baby, you don't have no more excuses because you know better, because you heard it from me. You got to remove those nails, baby. Maybe your parents didn't. Maybe your guardian didn't. Maybe your friend didn't. And because they didn't remove the nails, they hurt you. It's up to us to remove these nails, honey. And if anybody can do it, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can. I know you can. And this is the last step of tonight's call to action. I want you to destroy that paper when you're finished with it. I want you to rip up the paper and throw it away as a physical symbol that you are stepping up to the next level. I'm so proud of you tonight. I'm going to end this live, but I just want you to know that I love you. I see you. I believe in you. And you got this. I'll see you guys next week, 7:30 on Sunday. Bring a friend, guys. Next Sunday may be the episode that your friend needs to hear. I love you all so much. I just want y'all to know that. If you never thought anybody in the world could love you, or if no one has ever loved you, tonight you know that I love you. But my love is extra. Your love for yourself is everything. And we're going to keep building that self-love to be unshakable, unbreakable. Good night, guys.